The Orange Bowl is not too far away. And the beautiful part about it, the Orange Bowl has two teams that wear orange in Clemson and Tennessee, and we're going to get to our prediction on this game, okay? That's coming. When the game gets closer, when we have a good feel on who's opting out and who's going to play and all that, we're going to give you our prediction, going to give you a winner. Before we do that, though, I want to talk about the key battles, the games within the game, because that's the reality of football, right? It's all about those, 11 battles going on within the game that dictate the winner. So a couple of them for me. The first one I'm watching, Clemson's front seven against the stable of running backs that Tennessee has. Now, Tennessee, they don't have Hendon Hooker in this game, and that is tragic. You're dependent on Joe Milton. You hope that Hendon Hooker is able to get well soon and heal up, and you wish nothing but the best for him and his future successes professionally. But that makes the run game even more important for Tennessee. They were already a run-to-pass kind of program, but Joe Milton still, getting his legs under him as Tennessee's starter. To be able to hand the football to that stable of backs, I think that's the kind of world you'd want to live in. So we've seen them percentage-wise be right around 52% on the year. I bet it'll be a little bit closer to 60 as we get into this game. Now, for Clemson, they got a lot of players that will be on NFL rosters in the near future within that front seven. We don't know who's opting out just yet, so we'll withhold judgment, but regardless, their front seven play will be absolutely crucial. 3.3 yards a carry is all they're giving up on the season, so they're really stout up there. That's kind of been their calling card, being a physical bunch up there. If you can take away the run game if you're Clemson and put the pressure back on Joe Milton, that's advantage Clemson. So keep an eye on that battle. Clemson's front seven against the running back stable of the Tennessee Volunteers. Now, talking about the other quarterback in this game for Clemson, Cade Klubnik. They threw him the keys to the offense after the ACC title game and said, Cade, we're going to ride with you, my guy. Let's get after it. And he had a phenomenal ACC title game, was like 20 for 24, super efficient. The team itself just looked like they had new life. So the matchup I'm watching, Cade Klubnik versus the Tennessee pass rush. And conventional wisdom would say whenever you have a quarterback who's younger / more inexperienced, the thought process is, okay, we want to show him exotic packages in terms of how we're going to play him, show him something he hasn't really seen before on tape from us and confuse him a little bit. But even more than that, we got to heat him up. Like, we got to make the speed of the game feel a lot faster to him, especially early in the game. We want him seeing ghosts. We want him running for his life. That's the kind of game that could really benefit Tennessee if they get that going early. So Tennessee's sack total on the year is at 27. It's pretty average nationally. It's pretty average in the SEC, good for fifth best. But with Cade Klubnik being a dual threat, the reality is his legs could be the ace up the sleeve where he's able to create and extend plays and just make some magic when the play breaks down, or he will have that as his crutch when you blitz him, meaning you blitz him a few times, you get home, and then guess what happens? The next time you line up in that same package, whether that linebacker's coming or not, he's a little bit quicker to get out of the pocket. And when he gets out of the pocket, he's off script. He's off that first read. He's on to the third, and he's all out of sorts. If you can confuse Cade Klubnik by heating him up, that would be enormous. If you can't get home, he'll do what he did against North Carolina. He's young, only a freshman, but he's a baller. He's someone who's going to do a lot of damage nationally to the college football landscape. But if you can make him uncomfortable in this game, it would favor Tennessee. Otherwise, I think Cade Klubnik will have a good time cooking up. Tennessee's wide receiving core against Clemson's secondary is the last matchup that I'm watching. Again, curious about opt-outs in the Tennessee receiving core. We'll talk about it when it gets here. But the Clemson secondary throughout the course of the year has been a little bit inconsistent. Played really well for the most part against North Carolina. Josh Downs still had about 100 yards, but Drake May was fairly inconsistent, threw a pick six. Like, he didn't have his best day. Phenomenal for the Clemson secondary, but they haven't always brought it week in and week out. And so my curiosity is, do they bring it in this kind of game against Tennessee? In a bowl game where both programs had playoff aspirations, does the Tennessee wide receiver, have the full attention of Clemson secondary? Because the way that Tennessee runs their offense, they spread you out as much as possible. They line their wide receivers out all the way to the tick marks and pretty much say, you got to play on an island with our guys. Are you good enough to win man coverage with our wide receivers? That's the game that Tennessee forces you to play. If you can do it, great. Forces more pressure on the run game for Tennessee to succeed at that, and that's kind of the game that Georgia won, honestly, in Athens. Able to win those matchups on an island. If you can't, though, Jalen Hyatt will go for around 5 touchdowns like he did against Alabama. Now, I hope Jalen Hyatt plays in this game, doesn't opt out, but regardless if it's Jalen Hyatt or somebody else, there will be a lot of the Tennessee band playing if you can't win one-on-one. So the Clemson secondary against Tennessee's wide receiving core is the final matchup that I'm watching for very, very closely. So to recap it for you, the key battles in this Orange Bowl for me with Clemson and Tennessee is the Clemson front 7 against that running back stable of Tennessee. Can you take pressure off Joe Milton if you're Tennessee? And for Clemson, can you take away the run game and force it to be Joe Milton through the air? That's going to be what it comes down to. Cade Klubnik, his first start in this game. Going to be a whole lot of fun to watch the youngin grow as the years go on. But the Tennessee pass rush, if they can get to him and force him to get off schedule more often than not and make him see ghosts, make him uncomfortable, that would be huge. Because if not, I think Cade Klubnik is good enough. I think he's got enough talent and is further along now in this Clemson system to where he can make you pay. Says he's a freshman on paper, but if you don't get to him, he's going to pick you apart. So very crucial for Tennessee to get after Cade Klubnik. Lastly, the Tennessee wide receiving core against Clemson's secondary. The secondary for Clemson has been inconsistent, and the Tennessee receiving core makes you play on an island by nature of how this offense lines up. Can you win one-on-one? That's what it comes down to in this game. Can you win one-on-one on the outside? Excited to watch it. It'll be a whole lot of fun, though. Those are my key battles in the Orange Bowl. And I can't wait for this game to get here. Hope we don't have too many opt-outs. Hope we got most of these guys playing in this game. But regardless, should be a phenomenal matchup when it does get here. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.